Hi guys, I'm Steph and welcome to my channel Project Positive Health. For those of you who've already seen my channel, welcome back. Nice to see you again. So first of all, kind of just wanted to say a big thank you to my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys subscribing. It means a lot to me. And for those of you who haven't, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon as well to be notified for any videos that I post, which will be on will be on a Monday and a Friday. So just wanted to kind of give you guys like a little update as to what has been happening this week. I think I already said though that I done my weigh-in, but I weighed myself on Saturday and I weighed 8 stone 9, so I don't think there's any change, which is about 124 pounds. My starting weight was 9 stone 4, which was 130 pounds. So in the 5 weeks that I've been doing intermittent alternate day fasting, I have lost about 6 pounds so far, which isn't too bad. It's just over £1 a week. So that for me is a small win. So I will celebrate that. I will celebrate my £6 weight loss in 5 weeks. So if I keep looking down, it's just because I've got my notes here, because I had quite a few people asking me a few questions on Instagram about alternate day fasting. So I thought I would just give like I would just do like a little video just answering those questions really. It's like a beginner's guide to alternate day fasting. So first of all, I'm just going to literally do a rundown of my experience so far with alternate day fasting. Those of you who have already watched my first video will probably know this kind of information anyway, but for those of you who hasn't, I'm just going to run through it quickly. So when I first started intermittent alternate day fasting, I weighed 10 stone 4, which is about 145 pounds. My end weight at the beginning of this year was 8 stones, which is about 112 pounds. So my complete weight loss was about 2 stone 4, which is about 33 pounds. I've put on a little bit of weight since then, so I am now what I was at 9 stone 4, and then obviously I've lost that some 8 stone 9 now. But that so far is my experience with alternate day fasting. Starting alternate day fasting for me, I think it was quite daunting to begin with, because the idea of going a whole day without eating was like, I'm basically starving myself. So my anticipation of not eating for a whole day was probably a lot worse than what it was. But actually, once I got into it and I done that first day, it was a breeze. It was no problem. The only thing that I would say was my first few days doing alternate day fasting was fine. I didn't have any problems. And then after that, I kind of dropped off a little bit, and then I would have like 2 eat days in a row and then try and get back and do a fast. And then it was so difficult, kept breaking my fast. But apparently that is something that is quite common. Like, you start off really well with the willpower and then it kind of just drops off at the end. But the most important thing to do is just make sure you kind of get back onto it when you do fall off. So what is alternate day fasting? What is intermittent fasting? So intermittent fasting stroke alternate day fasting is basically where you have a pattern of cycling between days where you eat and days where you don't eat. As I explained before in the last video, there are many different protocols to doing this. So you have the 16-8 protocol, you have the 18-6 protocol, you have the 24 protocol, 24 protocol, you have the 23-1 protocol, which is OMAD, you've got alternate day fasting, you've got modified alternate day fasting. You have the 5-2 method and you have the 4-3 method. I think those are. The good thing with intermittent and alternate day fasting is it doesn't tell you what foods you can and can't have. It just tells you a time period where you can eat those foods. And that is one of the things that I really do love about intermittent alternate day fasting, is the fact that even though you go a whole day without eating, I know that I can eat whatever I want the next day. So I think that's doable. When I was on just a pure calorie restriction diet every single day, I found it really hard to kind of stick to, because every single day you're restricting and it's not sustainable, I don't think, personally. It was very difficult for me to maintain, plus I was bloody hungry and I don't like to be hungry. It makes me very angry. I know, yeah, I get hangry, I do, I'm not gonna lie. So how I started intermittent alternate day fasting was I calculated my basal metabolic rate and my TDE, which is your total daily energy expenditure, and I kind of ate between those two numbers. So your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, is your absolute lowest amount of daily calories that you can intake. That is literally the amount of energy you burn without doing anything at all. It's just literally what you need to be alive and breathe, basically. So obviously I didn't want to eat that low, and my TDEE, I didn't want to eat that high, because obviously I still wanted to be in a caloric deficit. So I kind of ate between those two numbers. So that is the first thing I would recommend. Go online, find a TDE calculator, input your details. I think it's like your gender, your age, how active you are, that kind of thing. Once you find out what your BMR is and your TDE is, you can kind of just figure out what your daily calorie intake is going to be from there. So that's that. And like I said as well, you've got a modified version of alternate day fasting. So if you're thinking about starting alternate day fasting and you're not entirely sure how you can cope without having any food, or if you need to have certain type of medication that needs to be eaten with food, you can do a modified version. So you can have 500 to 600 calories, and that helps you through your fasting days. Now, let me just say, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, and I'm not a nutrition. This is literally just my own personal experience with intermittent and alternate day fasting. It's just my own opinion. If you guys are interested and you want to start intermittent and alternate day fasting, this is how I went about doing it myself personally. So once you found out your BMR and your TDE, you can kind of just adjust it every now and then. So once you start losing weight and your weight drops, you need to input that, I think, into the TDE calculator, TDEE calculator, and it will adjust your calories for you, because obviously the smaller and leaner you get, the less calories you're going to need, basically, to feed your body, unless you were working out. It's all on there anyway. It'll figure it all out for you, so you can just kind of tweak it and what works for you. But yeah, don't forget to adjust your calorie intake. How I get through my fasting days. So I'm pretty good with my fasting days. I will literally I start every day with a black coffee. No matter what day it is, whether it's an eat day or a fasting day, I start all my days with a black coffee. So to get through my fasting days, I tend to have a black coffee or two, depending on how I feel. And then most of the time I will probably have lemon water to drink throughout. If I do find myself getting hungry, or the hunger pangs won't go away, I will just chug loads of water. wait about half an hour, and if I'm still feeling hungry, I will then go and have a black coffee. Wait another half an hour. Usually that tends to sort me out. It gets rid of the hunger pangs. But if it doesn't, that probably means I need to eat something. So I will then go and have something to eat. It doesn't usually happen to me, to be honest with you. But if it happens to you, that's what you can do. That's one of the things that can get you through your fasting days. Have some black coffee, have some water. You can have tea, you can have green tea. I'm pretty sure you can have peppermint tea, but don't hold me to that. Anything that doesn't have any calories in it basically. But just to be on the safe side, those are the ones that I know that don't break your fast. When I do have an eat day and I break my fast, there's a very specific way that I kind of do it. To break your fast without gaining weight, basically. So after you fast, your body's quite sensitive, especially with storing fat. So you need to make sure you break your fast properly. So when I break my fast, you should only have pure protein. I like to have protein and my good fats. So I usually break my fast with 3 scrambled eggs, and that's the whole egg. I will have the whites and the yolk. The yolk is super important, especially for women, because it contains biotin, and biotin is brilliant for your skin, your hair and your nails. That is why I don't just have the egg whites. I will literally have a whole egg. Shellfish is brilliant because, again, it's high in protein, it's got vitamin D, it's got iodine, it's got zinc. Iodine is really good, again, for women because it's good for your thyroid. So those are the things that I tend to eat on my eat days. And to be honest with you, on my eat days, I usually only tend to have fish for my protein. I like prawns, which you guys in America call shrimp. So I have prawns usually. I like scallops. I will have salmon fillets, smoked salmon, and turkey usually. Those tend to be like my protein sources. I break my fast usually with scrambled egg with smoked salmon. And then I wait an hour. So that's my small meal. That's the first meal that I have to break my fast. And then I will wait an hour, and then I will add my carbs. So the most important thing is when you break your fast, do not mix fats and carbs. Fats and carbs are an absolute no-no when you break your fast, because that essentially is just going to allow you to store fat, and that defeats the whole object of your fast. You don't want to store any fat. You don't want that. So don't break your fast with any carbs at all. Okay. Another thing I wanted to say, when I do my longer fasts, I break it in a different way. I don't have any fats. I will literally just have pure protein, and I tend to break my fast, the longer fast, initially with some chicken bone broth. Seaweed crackers as well are really, really good because they're high in iodine. So when I do my longer fast, like 72 hours, I will break that fast initially with some chicken bone broth and a packet of seaweed crackers. So those are the ones that I tend to have. Like I said, on my eat days, I still do try and eat healthy. I have my protein, I have my fats, my carbs. I eat tuna steak, salmon fillets, smoked salmon, turkey. Veg-wise, I love my salads, I love spinach. I have a lot of broccoli and cauliflower rice, sweet potatoes. Those are the kind of things that I tend to have on my eat days. I do also have chocolate, not a lot, just a little bit, because I like chocolate and I can have it. I've been in a fasted state for a little while, so I treat myself. But that is usually at the end of my day. So once my stomach's kind of broken into and got used to having food again, that's when I tend to have the naughty stuff. Not a lot of it either. How often do I weigh myself? So I actually weigh myself every single day, and I've done that for the whole year that I have been on my little weight loss journey. Now, that's not ideal for everyone. Some people prefer to do it once a week. Some people prefer to do it once a month. It's entirely down to you how often you weigh yourself, whether you want to do it daily, weekly, monthly. It's up to you. I like to have all that data basically. I can go back as far as when I started this and figure out like how much I weighed on this day and how much I've lost, and I'm all right with it. I don't really pay attention to the numbers. The numbers that I pay attention to are the numbers weekly basically, or the numbers monthly. So I do go by a weekly or monthly basis, but I do have data for every single day, if that makes any sense. But like I said, it's all down to you on what you wanted to do. Okay. I do exercise, and I do prefer to exercise in a fasted state. When I first started, I was doing like loads of cardio, like it was mental. I've really cut back on my cardio now. I work out a minimum of 2 days a week. If I can get in more exercise, then I will, but usually it is a minimum of 2 days a week. I mostly do weights and resistance and like body weight and stuff like that. And cardio, I really just do maybe once a week. And even then, it's not for that long. I only do cardio just to keep my whole cardiovascular bits working properly. That's all. It's just good to keep your lungs healthy, to keep your heart healthy, and to keep your diaphragm healthy. So that is literally the only reason why I do cardio, and I don't do that much of it, to be honest. But again, it's up to you if you want to work out. Some people don't work out, some people do. The only thing that I would suggest is whenever you're in a calorie deficit, obviously muscle loss is obviously something, it's a common side effect. It is something that will happen with any kind of diet and things like that. So in order to prevent muscle loss or to kind of minimize that risk, I would suggest to do some weight training or resistant training basically. Again, like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian. This is just my personal opinion. Another thing I would always recommend is listen to your body. If you've watched my last video, I've mentioned in there that I've been doing this for 5 weeks, and I've been on point pretty much for all them weeks. But on the 3rd week, I think I didn't fast at all. I think I ended up eating every single day. That happens. I just listened to my body. That is something that needed to happen, and I just did it at the end of the day. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't feel bad. Don't be hard on yourself at the end of the day. Listen to your body. If you need to eat, just eat. You can always start your fasting protocol again the next day. It is not a big deal. Just listen to your body. Binge eating. I know some people do binge eat after they've had their fast, but I personally think if you make sure you are eating enough protein and enough good fats on your eat days, that doesn't actually happen. If it's happened to you and you're eating protein and fats, let me know. Just pop it in the comment section, because from my experience, if I've had enough protein and good fats, the next day I'm okay. I don't tend to binge eat. But yeah, if I have enough protein and enough fats, I'm fine. I don't tend to have any binge eating habits. To be honest with you, I find that when I fast and then I've got my eat day, I don't tend to eat that much anyway on my eat day. It's like your body has this stopper. You can eat a certain amount, and then once you get to that amount, you can't have any more. And it's not really a large amount either. It's quite small. So I find I get fuller quicker after my fast days, personally. So like I said, one of the reasons why I personally do intermittent and alternate day fasting is because, being honest with you, I love it. It is not a diet, it's a lifestyle change for me, and I find it easy to maintain. It's sustainable. You can tweak it as to fit how you want to. It fits into your life. You know, it's cheap. You don't have to go out and buy any specific foods. It saves you on washing up, food prep. It just works well for me, to be honest with you. And what I do love, like I said previously, is the fact that I don't restrict any food. If I want to have something to eat on my eat day, I will eat it, whatever it is. One thing I did find when I did try keto for like 3 weeks, I'm not even a big kind of bready kind of person. But when I started keto, I was really craving bagels. I don't even really eat bagels. Crumpets, like all that stuff you can't have on keto. I bloody wanted it. So the good thing about alternate day fasting and intermittent fasting is the fact that if you want something on your eat day, you can have it. All you have to do is get through those 24 hours, or in my case 42 hours, and then you can eat. So whatever you're missing on that day that you're fasting, you can always eat the next day. It's fine. So that is one of the reasons why I love alternate day fasting. If you've got any questions, if I've missed anything that you kind of want me to discuss, just pop your comments in the comment section. So that is it, guys. That is my little guide on intermittent and alternate day fasting, like a little beginner's guide for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.